What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my What Sold video. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please find it in your hearts to hit that like button on the video and subscribe. I am a flipper, okay? I buy stuff at thrift stores, I buy stuff at other retail stores, I flip them on eBay for some profits, and that is now my full-time job, along with documenting what I do on eBay. So if you like that kind of content, please, it'll help me out dramatically. Hit that button, hit that bell. We'll all move on happy with our lives. It really does help YouTube push this content out and tell other people, hey, some people like this over here, so we're gonna push this out to you guys over there. Okay, let's get into the first item. Actually, before we get into the first item, I have a question, and I am only going to listen to responses that are in the comments of the YouTube video. Leave a comment if you have any idea what this shirt is from. A few of you I already know the answer to. About 4 people total. My mom, my sister, my childhood best friend, and maybe my one younger cousin. Other than you 4, I'll be impressed if you know the answer to this. First item is a pair of Teva men's hiking sandals. I actually found these at a Goodwill for about $9.99. I paid up for them. I try to pay only about $5 when I can, but these were a good size 13. These were a larger size, which typically sell at a higher premium. B, they were my size, so I originally bought them thinking, well, I'll keep them for myself. I have a new kayak, I haven't used it yet, and I wanted a really solid pair of hiking/water sandals to use for when I get in and out of the kayak, because I'm going to start launching it out in the back of the property on the lake. So tried them on, they fit. They weren't the most comfortable shoes, so I decided to list them, and within 48 hours they sold. These things sold for $30.06, and again I paid about $9.99. So only $20 left on the table. Cost me about $10 to ship them out, so I'm really only putting about $5 in my pocket, give or take, after all fees are said and done and taxes and whatnot. Next item is a pair of Nike Air Max 720 Saturn triple black shoes. These are a high top shoe, really awesome variety of shoes. I've never seen these before myself. Again, a high top, somewhat waterproof. They have a zipper along the outer edge of the shoe on both the left and the right shoe. And then they come with interchangeable laces. So black laces come as standard, and then the yellow laces come as an additional. I found these for $44.99 plus taxes. And this pair sold all in $166.31. This is a size 14. Next item is a Nikon One Touch 200 point and shoot 35mm camera. So this is something, turns on, I tested it to some degree, but I don't have the film, so obviously to be able to actually test the functionality of the camera and how it takes a picture, it's going to be a little bit of a guessing game. But I found this for $3 at a Goodwill, and the buyer paid $32 flat, all in, on their end. Next item is a Hasbro Catchphrase 2000. Handheld electronic games are still huge. They were really big when the pandemic first started because people were just sitting at home not knowing what to do. So anything electronic that kept you in your house at home doing whatever it was that you were doing was spiked. These things are still selling at a pretty good rate. This I bought for, I think it was $2 if I'm not mistaken, $1.99 I think was the actual price tag, and this sold for $20.84 all in for the buyer. Okay, next item is going to be this pair of Nike Air Force Ones, now grade school Obsidian Blues. This is one I want to bring up for a few reasons. A, children's shoes sell. Children's shoes sell to children, but B, children's shoes also sell to younger men and women. So I have these listed. These are a 6Y, size 6Y, but it's also a comparable women's 7.5. There's about a 1.5 shoe size difference between a kid size and a woman's size. So I have this listed as both the Kid 6Y and the Women 7.5Y. Found these for, I think it was $26.99, and this pair sold for $71.24 all in for the buyer. Next item is a Nikon Recoil 180 MS RFA softball bat. I was always weary about baseball bats, softball bats, just because they take a beating. And when they take a beating, visually they're not the nicest looking bat. So I would always see bats and I would just completely overlook them. Till I started seeing other resellers on social media talking about the bats that they have flipped, and I decided to start really paying attention. I found this bat for approximately $6, if I'm not mistaken, and this bat sold for $90. Used, scuffs, nicks and chips on the bat, have photographs of it all. It was in the listing, I had it in the description, and this bat still sold for $90. I'm sold on not only baseball and softball gloves, but baseball and softball bats now going forward. Next item is a new men's golf shoe FL Impact 3. That's a lot of words. Apologize if that was too many to follow. But it's a pair of golf shoes. I found these at a Ross, which, by the way, the other brand new pair of shoes that I had mentioned before, the Nikes, they were also a Ross find for me. But I found these at Ross. Golf shoes are always a good seller. This time of the year, golf shoes are a completely badass seller. So I said it, I'm putting it out there to the universe, naughty donkeys all the way. But golf shoes are great. Anything high-end brand, Nikes, Jordans, if you can find Jordan golf shoes, they're amazing too. Tiger Woods golf shoes are good. But yeah, these shoes I found for approximately $30 to $35. I can't remember the exact number off the top of my head, so I used 35 as my estimate. But these sold all in for the buyer, $93.61. That's with shipping. That's also with taxes and fees on their end. So not too bad. I will easily double my money in profit. So I will take that $30 and I will turn it into 60 easily. And I think it only cost me about $10 to ship these shoes out. Next pair of shoes, another Ross find, people. This is a pair of Nike Air Max Speed Turf Philadelphia Eagles shoes. I was drawn to these purely because my brother-in-law is a massive Eagles fan. So my first intentions was to maybe buy one of these for his birthday. None of them fit him because I called my sister to ask what his shoe size were. But regardless, I knew just by the visual appeal of these, Eagles fans would go nuts for these shoes. So I grabbed them. They were, I think, $45 a pair. And this sold for $117.43 all in for the buyer. Next item is a quick, small flip. It's a Cleveland Golf Launcher 22 wood head cover for a golf club. Again, golf season's in. Golf stuff is selling really well right now. I picked this up for about $2 and it sold buyers all in $13.25. Next up is a Leviton 61,000 rotary dimmer switch for housing and construction. I found these at a Habitat for Humanity restore. They were approximately $2.50 a piece. They come in their own basic prefab boxes. I picked up 3 of them total, and this is the first one that sold, and it sold for $37.19. So I've sat on these for quite a while. I would say at least 5 to 6 months now, but to take $2.50 and turn it into $37.19, I'm not going to argue. It already paid for the other 2 that are still sitting in the garage. Once those 2 sell, I mean, that's almost all profit to begin with. It's going to be all profit after that. I'm excited to have 2 more on hand, and I'm excited to see those 2 sell, even if it takes another 6 months to do it. Next item is a Brooks Addiction 12 running shoe. This was a used pair of shoes I found at a Goodwill, approximately $8.99 if I'm not mistaken, and these sold for $40.84 specifically to somebody in Hawaii who asked me very politely to make sure that I don't use any type of scent, whether that means like a fabric softener or a fabric freshener, just because of the fact that they have some allergies to it, and I was totally okay with that, but it's still cool to see another item. That's the second item now that I know of that I've sent to Hawaii, which is pretty sweet. Next item is a Pantene Pro V 3-minute miracle repair and protect daily conditioner. This person bought the only 2 that I had in stock for a total sales of $20.47. I don't know exactly how much I have into this. I'm going to estimate $1 a piece. I know it's less than that. I'd actually purchased a box from Wholesale Ninjas months ago, and I had a bad experience, but it was my own fault, completely my own fault, because I bought the box with cosmetics. Didn't want cosmetics, didn't realize there was an option between the 2 different ones. I was in a rush to get inventory. It was when I was really starting out, and I saw Lindy Glenn's videos about Wholesale Ninjas all over the place. She's fantastic. Her videos are great. She really hypes these guys up, and they do amazing stuff for her and a bunch of other resellers. So I was like, okay, I want to try something. You know, pandemic's here. I wasn't finding great stuff at the thrift stores. Let's get a box and see what happens. I hated it. A couple good things have sold so far, but I hated it because of the cosmetics. I'm not into cosmetics, so it was too much work to go through this stuff and list it for me. I didn't enjoy it whatsoever. It's cool to still see some of it sell, but whatever. If I do it again from them, I will absolutely go no cosmetics. But regardless, this is just proof of 2 other things that I was able to sell. $20.47 all in. I got less than $1 a piece in each of them, so not too shabby. And then I'm up to my last 2 items. The first item I'm going to show is a failure. The second item I'm going to show is probably my favorite sale of the weekend, and I would say consider probably my biggest success as well. So the first item is a Pittsburgh Steelers glass mug. I found this at a thrift store for about $1.50-ish, give or take. I thought it was an extremely high quality mug. I found 2 separate Steelers mugs. It has a solid metal emblem on the outside of it, really good condition. I thought for sure a Steelers fan was going to pick this up within maybe a few weeks of me listing it, full asking price, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Had it listed $25-ish, give or take, free shipping. I thought it was a no-brainer. I'm done with mugs as a whole. I still have almost every mug I bought within the first 2 months of me going to thrift stores, and just haven't moved yet. This mug sold for $13.25, free shipping. I miscalculated the weight of the box, the weight of the item, and this thing cost me more money to ship than I got paid. So I lost money on this mug. Only about $1.50 to $2. The buyer was all in $13.25. That's including government fees and taxes on their end as well. So not all of that came to me. I think approximately $11 came to me, and it cost me about $12.60 to ship. So yeah, again, about $1.50 to $2 I lost on this mug. So slightly disappointing. It's a learning experience. I'm not going to write off mugs 100% for the rest of my life, but ooh, the guard is up and I am weary as weary can be. So yeah, should have just given it to my sister. Anyway, last item, favorite item of the weekend. This is a JVC 12-disc CD changer for a car unit. This sold buyer all in $212.17. That's a pretty big number. That's a really good number for selling one item. I paid up for this. I took a gamble. It was at a Goodwill. A Goodwill that typically has some more expensive stuff that I would like to pay for. But I spent 10 minutes waiting for somebody else to stop looking at this, hoping they wouldn't buy it. Spent another 15 minutes researching it and just convincing myself it was the right thing to do. And I paid up. It was either $24.99 or $29.99. I can't remember which. So I'm going to assume it was $30 that I paid for it. But I paid $30 for this 12-disc car CD changer. And it ended up selling for full asking price. Again, they're all in $212.17. I think it was about $166 asking price plus shipping. So somewhere around $16 to $20 is what they paid me to ship it. And that's about what it cost. It cost me about $20 to ship the item out. So I took $30. I turned it into $160. I'm not going to argue. It was a little bit of a gamble. My fiance looked at me like I was a little bit crazy. She's like, I don't know, like you're good. Yeah, it's $30 on one item. We can go somewhere else and pick up 6 to 10 things. And I was like, I have a good feeling about this. I'm going to take the gamble. I think it's worth it. Sure enough, it was. Now, it could get returned. So we'll see. Maybe there's something wrong with it. I don't think so. I didn't have a way of testing the item, but it was all brand new, still in original sealing inside of the box. The plastic was open on each of the items, but you can tell there was almost no damage and no distress on anything. It looked like it was never used before, so I'm highly confident that the person is going to get this and be extremely satisfied. So I'm hoping. All right, now let's go ahead and review the entire breakdown for the weekend. I'm gonna go over a couple things, but first I wanna remind you, please, 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 if you need sound and solid tax advice, go to a tax professional. I'm not a financial advisor by any means, shape, or form. I'm not a tax professional in any way. I am just a guy putting a video on YouTube who sells stuff out of his garage. That's it. So please don't listen to me if you desperately need advice, if you're in a pickle or anything along those lines. Listen to me if you want to spark ideas. Listen to me if you want at least an oversimplistic and a general idea of what can happen if you put your mind to it and you want to go into reselling somehow, some way. But yeah, that's my spiel. That's my soapbox. I'll get off of it now. Okay, so I'm going to break this down into a few sections. Total sales, and then I'm going to show you net sales, and then I'm going to show you profits. I have a few subsections for each one, so we'll just get right into it. I know and understand that this is not 100% all-inclusive. There are other bills and expenses that come along with being a reseller. Cost of my home, cost of the electricity, cost of all this other good stuff. Some tax professionals can write you off discounts on your mortgage because of the space that you use inside of your home for your home business, all that good stuff. Again, that's why the professionals are necessary. This doesn't take into consideration any of those things. I am just purely talking about costs of the item, the costs of eBay, the costs to ship, and taxes that would be sort of included along with that. That is it. Everything else is out the window. Forget it exists, but don't forget it exists. Just don't think about it here. Just go to a tax professional. Okay, so total sales, $954.92. I could have considered this 1,000 because I had to run my report Friday through Monday. If I would not have eliminated one item as a sale, I could have considered it, but their shipping information didn't pull up on that report until I believe the next day. So I had to omit it for the purposes of this video. So there's one item on here that sold, I believe, shipped on Monday, which is why I was able to get some of that data and that info for it, but it actually sold early in the weekend. So that's why I'm using Friday through Monday as of right now. So total sales, $954.92. Shipping costs, now this is the costs of my eBay labels. $114.83 to ship those things. So on average, costs me right around $10 per item. Some less, some more. It all averages out, which is typically what I assume when I price out an item. It's about 10 to 12 bucks on the safe side. eBay fees, these are final value fees, ad fees, promoted listing fees that I use, all inclusive, $96.16. Taxes, $48.73, which leaves me with a net sales of $695.20. So this is the expensive part now, cost of goods. I typically run a higher average cost on my cost of goods because I do quite a bit of retail arbitrage, primarily in the sneaker realm. So my cost of goods for everything that I had already showed you was $199.00. It's probably off by a few cents, but I remembered I needed to omit the price of the golf club, and I took off $5 to $6. Even though I know I paid $4.99 for the golf club plus taxes, I think I took off like $6, which is why I just rounded out real nice. $199 for everything that I showed you, cost of goods, which for this run shows that my average cost is right around $20 an item. Not terrible. It's because some of those higher end shoes I purchased for right around the $45 mark, give or take. And then that CD changer as well at the $25 to $30 mark. So those cause the average cost of goods to increase quite a bit. So, which leaves me with a profit before taxes of $496.20. Now, next number, bear with me, okay? I'm going to assume taxes are 30%. I live in Florida. That's really not the case. But I found myself many years back in bad situations financially, monetarily, where I've just overspent beyond what I should have. And I'm talking about in my teens, like newly out of my parents' house in my own apartment in my early 20s, like, oh crap, I don't have enough to pay for oil this month. Great. So I'm overestimating, completely overestimating at 30% here, just to be safe. Play it safe. Tax time comes around, I'll have a lot of extra money. It'll almost be like I'm getting a refund, even though it's already still in my account anyway, but it's in a savings account, so I'll grow some small percentage off of that as well, so I'm okay with that. But again, I'm assuming 30%. So 30% off of those profits before taxes would be $148.86 to the side for taxes for next year, which leaves me with an in my pocket dollar value, $347.34. I don't think that's that bad. Really, 10 plus items out the door, and I now have an extra $350 in my pocket. If you guys don't know Florida, we're coming up on the warmer months, so that's gonna be 1 month's worth of my electric bill. I might not be exaggerating there. So, okay, that's all. That's what I got for today. It's a relatively quick video, short video, but I hope it's lengthy just enough to give you some context and idea around what I do and why I do it. If you like this content or anything close to it, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. I don't remember which side it's going to be on. So that way eBay lets you know every time I put out a new video so that you can check it out right away. And I will see you on the next video. Peace.